What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and welcome to another episode of Storytime. If you don't know what the series is, generally we just talk over some Call of Duty gameplay about something that's happened in my life. And this story is going to be the story of the time I broke my collarbone. Now, this is an interesting one because this may very well be the reason why I started YouTube, is this exact moment in my life. And you'll see exactly why, how a broken collarbone can tie into YouTube in a moment. But I just wanted to say, I'm sorry it's been so long since there's been a Storytime episode. I know a lot of you really love Storytime, so if you guys want to see more Storytime, let me know down in the comment section and leave a like. The more likes this video gets, the more likely I am to more frequently upload Storytime episodes. So if you want to see more videos like this one, hit that like button. But without further ado, let's get into the story. So this story took place when I was in grade 9. Now in grade 9, I pretty much never played video games. There's two video games that I played pretty frequently. They were Elder Scrolls 4, actually 3, Team Fortress 2, and Half-Life 2. Those were like the only games I played, and I played them all on PC. There were some other games, like I played like Mario Party and all of that stuff. I played a lot of Nintendo stuff, like all the old Zelda games, everything like that. But I was never really into the like online shooters on console whatsoever. All I did with my time is 1, played hockey, and 2, snowboard. So that year I got like a season pass at the local ski hill, and this was actually the first time going out the entire year. The first time we go out, I get comfortable, I get used to snowboarding again for the year, and it's my brilliant idea that we decide to go down like the trick park, if you would call it that. And at the time, it was so early in the season that the trick park had not even been put in place. There was no rails, there was no jumps. All that there was rollers, and basically what rollers are is they're like mini hills. They're like just little mini hills that you can get a little bit of air over. Now, this was our very first time going down the trick park. I go over the first roller just to see what it was like, and as I'm going over the second roller, I decide to do a trick. So I just do a little grab, land the grab, go to do the fist pump. I get the fist pump going. Little do I know that there is a third roller. Come roller number 3, I'm still mid fist pump, and as I go over that third roller, I realize, oh shit, I'm going far too fast. I'm going to launch off of this thing. I go to stop, and as I go to stop, if you don't know anything about snowboarding, you kick your feet out. So you're normally going like this. I kick my feet out to go like this, but it's too late. I'm already going off that ramp. Like, I'm already going off it. So instead of just going off of it normally, I go off of it backwards, ass over tea kettle, and I landed on my shoulders and on my head. And it just so happened that at the time it was kind of shitty weather. It was kind of rainy, kind of snowing at the same time. And what this did is made ice chunks, like little ice balls all along the hill. And because of that, when I landed back, I literally landed on one of these ice balls right on my collarbone. And I also whacked my head pretty hard, and I don't remember falling backwards, so I probably had some pretty damn good concussion. But I fall back, and the only thing I remember about when I fell is my whole body went really, really tingly, like really tingly. And so my whole body goes tingly. I probably take about 30 seconds to sit up, and when I do, my friend's sitting there waiting for me. He comes over, he goes, "Hey man, are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't think I can stand up." He's like, "Why, did you hit your head?" I'm like, no, like my head feels fine. It's just like my shoulder, like every time I go to move, it really hurts. And of course when I fell, my bindings on my snowboard also broke, so I couldn't take my snowboard, because the original plan was, all right, let's just get me out of my snowboard, I'll walk down the hill, because there was no way at this point I was snowboarding. So I try to take my bindings off, they won't come off. This goes on for maybe 15 minutes that I'm trying to reef on these things. It got to the point where I was like, do you have like scissors in your coat? We can just cut these bindings off, because clearly they're broken. But no. So what ends up happening is ski patrol has to come up the hill. I'm like embarrassed. Like I'm like one of those guys that if you get hurt playing a sport, you don't stay down. You get the hell off the field, you get the hell off the ice, and you just move on with your life. And I was like embarrassed that we had to go get the ski patrol to come up here because I couldn't get my goddamn snowboard off, and I couldn't get up on my snowboard to get down the hill. So ski patrol comes up, they're like, "Yeah, your bindings are broken." I'm like, "Thanks, chief, I know that. Like I need to get down the hill so I can get to a hospital." So eventually they cut my bindings off, and they wouldn't let me walk down the hill. So they put me in like that little toboggan and brought me down the hill on the snowmobile. Anyway, the worst part about the whole thing was getting from that toboggan to standing, because I had to walk anyway, right? Like I had to get to the hospital. So I remember standing out of that and that being just so incredibly painful. Anyway, we get out of there, ski patrol writes up a report, all that stuff. Eventually, my mom gets there. My mom's freaking out. She thought I like died on the ski hill. I clearly didn't. Anyway, she takes me to the hospital. So when we get to the hospital, we get to triage, we go through triage, and then they say, a nurse comes out and says, all right, you need to get an x-ray, come with me. And at the time, I could barely walk because I was in a ton of pain. I don't know if any of you have ever broken your collarbone, but I've broken a lot of bones, and that's by far the most painful one I've ever broken. I don't know why. It's just where it is. It's in with a lot of systems, right? Like a lot of muscles are connected up in there. So maybe because of that. But I don't know. And the nurse gets me to walk to the x-ray room, and I nearly pass out from pain on the way to the x-ray room. But anyway, we get the x-rays, and this is what we see on the x-rays right here. Now, this isn't the exact picture. Like, I lost the exact picture of my x-ray, but literally, this one looks identical to what my x-ray looked like. The bone poking down. If it would have poked up instead of down, it would have came out of the skin, but luckily it didn't. Anyway, how does this lead to me starting YouTube? So, this was right before Christmas time, like literally days before Christmas. I think it was the 21st of December. Christmas is the 25th. So I get home and it's Christmas time. So for Christmas, my parents get me new snowboard, new bindings, new snowboard boots, and I think a new coat. Like literally everything for snowboarding that you could want. And of course, for the rest of the year, I can't snowboard for 3 months. That's what the doctor tells me. You can't snowboard, you can't play hockey for 3 months. I was really upset about the hockey one, but that's beside the point. So what I end up doing is my mom says, like, I feel really bad that this is what we got you for Christmas. It's like rubbing in that you're injured almost. And she's like, you can return it and get whatever you want. And at the time, I would go over to one of my friend's house every day after school pretty much and play Halo 3. So what I'm like, Mom, what if I trade this in and get an Xbox because I'm going to be stuck on my ass for the next 3 months anyway because I've a broken collarbone. She's like, all right. So the next day, I believe it was Boxing Day, we go out, I get myself an Xbox 360 with Halo 3 and some gold. And for the next 3 months, I was just so intrigued with playing that game. I believe 2 months later, I got World at War. A month after that, I got Call of Duty 4. And then the next year was Modern Warfare 2. So within that period of time, I got so addicted to like these multiplayer games, these multiplayer shooters, and really breaking my collarbone was the only reason why I got an Xbox 360, which is I played Halo, and because of Halo, I played Call of Duty, and without Call of Duty, this YouTube channel probably wouldn't exist. So I think it's really interesting how one horrible event of breaking my collarbone can lead to literally an amazing thing happening years later. But I do remember of all of these things, one of my favorite memories of the whole thing was the day after I broke my collarbone. My two best friends in school came over. I believe it was the day before Christmas Eve, the 23rd. They came over and they brought me chocolate milk, Doritos sweet chili heat, and just hung out with me for a while because they knew I was in a ton of pain. It was literally so bad that I couldn't move. Like every time I went to stand up, I felt like my arm was just gonna fall off. And like I said, if any of you have broken your collarbone or anything like that, let me know down in the comments, because like I said, it was the most painful bone I've ever broke, just because every time I would move, my like whole chest would just be in pain. But that is the story of how I broke my collarbone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more story time, hit that like button and let me know down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, peace out. Listen.